nearly $1 billion in Bitcoin options expire tomorrow, will bulls be able to bust through the $50,000 level? But as the SPX is looking rather dumbalicious, could this spell an emergency bathroom break for cryptocurrency? But meanwhile, is Ethereum right now about to unload all over the chest of the bears with this very, very important setup? And most importantly, this new model predicts Bitcoin will never go below this specific price again. Wow, now this is pretty big. I'm your host, Chadleys, and this video is about to be stuffed full of more meat than an American at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Wow, absolutely very big. We have so much to be getting into with Bitcoin, and many of you have been asking as well, so we're going to be taking a look at Ethereum because there's something absolutely very big shaping up. I've been kind of watching it closely day by day, but boy oh boy, this is very, very interesting. So you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, turn notifications to miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. As well, if you're interested in staking with our pool, make sure to check it out below. So many people have been joining. We're getting a lot of new delegations day after day, and the 2% margin is not the rewards. The 2% is what goes to the SPO. So actually, the lower that is, the better, not the higher. But as well, it only takes a few minutes. If you want to check out the tutorial, it's a 3-minute tutorial here. And without any further ado, let's jump in. Wow. We have so much to be jumping into today, and specifically, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin. So within 24 hours, we're about to see a very big options expiry here. So 810 million in Bitcoin options expire tomorrow, and derivatives data suggests bulls are keen to push the price actually above 50K. And earlier, we actually saw Bitcoin get a little bit of a rejection at 48. Currently, we're still kind of battling it, sitting right at the 21. Will definitely change by the time this video gets uploaded. But if we take a look here, over the past 10 days, Bitcoin has tested some pretty low levels, and we had that really big dump on the 7th, if you remember that, a little over a week ago, where it plummeted down to that $43,000, $44,000 range after hitting $53,000 for the first time in months. And here we saw a lot of long contracts get liquidated. Okay, about $3.4 billion worth of longs got destroyed during this drop, right? During this massive intraday candle there, where we saw a pretty nice bounce as well. But according to options market data, that did not eliminate the bulls' optimism. If we take a look here, regardless of this, there are a lot of good things happening. I mean, for example, just a few days ago, Morgan Stanley, one of the largest banks in the US, appointed a lead crypto analyst for its dedicated crypto team. But what's really important here is the most significant trigger for a 50% or higher bull run comes from a potential ETF approval in the US from Fidelity Digital Assets, an investment arm of the $4.2 trillion global fund manager. It held a private meeting just about a week ago with several SEC officials to discuss risks and benefits of a Bitcoin ETF. But most importantly here, the September 17th, aka tomorrow, expiry will be a test of strength for bears because 88% of these, of the 310 million sell options or put options have been placed at $47,000 or lower. And if Bitcoin trades above that price tomorrow, the neutral to bearish put option open interest gets cut to a meager 36 million. So basically, there's a big battle going on between the bulls and bears here, and we're right in very important territory, in between like 47 to 50,000 US dollars. Currently, we're right at about 48,000, where we've been for a few days now. So the high stress level for the bears is 50K. Where if bulls are manage to push it up to there, that will be a very big advantage for the bulls. But these next 24 hours, I think, will be very big, obviously, because of that as well. And interestingly enough, I'm sure you've heard of the stock to flow model. Well, now we've got a combination, adding the liquid supply data being combined with the stock to flow to form a new minimum price for Bitcoin in its USD pair. And you can see that here. It was tweeted last night on Twitter by Will Clemente. Basically, what it's suggesting here, the model, is that Bitcoin will not go below $39,000 again. Okay, think about that for a second. Okay, because there are still people calling for 10,000 and lower Bitcoin, but this model, which is now combined with the stock to flow model, suggests 39K never to be seen again for Bitcoin's price. And with that being said, even Bloomberg is eyeing a significant advance, even in these last few months of 2021, as latest research here giving renewed credence to $100,000 or 6-digit Bitcoin this year. So past Bitcoin trading trends and the crypto's declining supply versus mainstream adoption, which is absolutely happening. Crypto or Bitcoin has a fixed supply. What is happening right now with mainstream adoption And that's how you can see massive increases in price, because there is a supply squeeze. There's simply not enough. And as demand ramps up, I mean, this thing can get absolutely very big, just like we've seen in the past. And analyst Mike McGlone from Bloomberg is saying, yes, we could potentially see that six-digit Bitcoin this year, which is also what Will is talking about there, Will Clemente. And before we jump into this Bitcoin price action, I actually want to take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum is looking very good. It's come very close to setting its all-time highs around like 4,300 set back in the middle of May. But what happened recently, I think, is what's most important. So we had this big level of resistance right at about 3,400 US dollars for ETH, and that's where it struggled for a long time. But as you can see, over the last week, it has started to actually rise up again, and you can see the momentum very clearly shift to, go back above these last resistance levels of about like that $3,600 level. We actually did breach briefly 4K a few weeks ago, but obviously the crash we saw on September 7th brought all cryptos down. But Ethereum bounced very strongly off its 50-day moving average and did a very good retest of that 50-day moving average, and is still currently heading up here. Breakout target for ETH. My ETH price predictions for this year, I still believe a $10,000, so minimum 5-digit ETH for this cycle is absolutely possible. And that's what I've been saying since the beginning. I think it's very likely. ETH is, obviously it has its issues, but the innovation and the use and the adoption that it's seeing is absolutely mind-blowing. And yes, gas fees are a significant issue, but there are things in the future that are coming out that will hopefully remedy this. And I'm especially excited for ETH 2.0. If that doesn't pump the price, I don't know what would in terms of fundamental news for Ethereum. But the 1618 extension here is all the way up actually at about almost 8,000 US dollars for ETH. So again, even though I think $10,000 is a very, very good price prediction for ETH, I'm personally just very convinced that, minimum, I think we'll see $8,000 per ETH this year. Even before we continue with Bitcoin, we have to talk about this. So the SPX, the entire year of 2021, has had many pullbacks to the 50-day moving average, and it's bounced every single time, after which it's gone on to almost immediately set a new all-time high. And now, with that being said, we are in one of those scenarios again. Okay, the last time this happened was last month, and then it was about exactly a month before that, and then about exactly a month before that. So like June 18th, then like July 18th, then like August 18th, and even before that, it was about May 18th. So we're seeing pretty much the middle of every single month. Now that I look at it, it's basically almost exactly every single month. We've seen a pullback to this 50-day moving average, but it's held every time. And after it's held, it's blown to new all-time highs. Will it happen again? Because common sense would tell us that it cannot happen forever. Especially, I'm sure many of you are maybe just concerned with the broader economy, just broader financial markets globally, especially. Again, I think that's a very big concern that people need to be always have in the back of their minds. But right now, we're doing that right now. We're testing that 50-day. And if we do not bounce here, and let's say the SPX would initiate some sort of a bigger pullback, how will that affect Bitcoin? Because history would tell us that would probably not be good for Bitcoin. But as we're seeing more and more banks and institutional players and billionaires get involved in crypto and Bitcoin and Ethereum especially, is it possible that if we do see a crash like this, some of that money will flow into crypto, or will everything just get absolutely obliterated? Again, history would tell us that everything would get absolutely obliterated. But keep in mind, the last time that we had a massive crash in these markets, well, this was the 2020 crash, absolutely very big. Bitcoin did crash there as well. But the biggest crash we see on this chart in the last decade or so, obviously, was 2008. And remember, Bitcoin was created after this. Bitcoin was created as a response to this. Okay, Bitcoin was basically created so we could take control of our money and we were not at the mercy of the banker boys. Okay, so back here, Bitcoin did not exist. Okay, the biggest crash we can see in the last couple of decades. So with that being said, if we were to see another crash like this, will Bitcoin perform differently than the stock and the rest of the financial markets? And as well, after our golden cross, Bitcoin still is kind of currently just battling right on the 21 DMA. This next 24 hours is going to be huge because we have that options expiry here, but Bitcoin is displaying some pretty good signs here. On the 4-hour chart, you can see we have some very impressive movement. We had a nice little bullish cross here on the 4-hour chart. Not super significant, but we are holding some key moving averages on the 6-hour as well. There is some bullish divergence with the price as well on multiple time frames. For Bitcoin, that doesn't always play out, so it's not insanely significant, but Realistically, we talked about this yesterday. This gigantic fettuccine level right here, basically right at about 48 to 48.3. Kind of, I mean, for the most part, it's right at about 48,000. It's a huge level right now, and reclaiming 50K becomes mega bullish for Bitcoin. Well, so if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. And as well, we are growing this pool, and we're trying to grow it as fast as possible, and it is making very good progress. It is not even a week old. Actually, I think today is a week old for the pool, and it already has well over $1 million worth of ADA. We're just getting very close to saturation. If you're interested in earning rewards with our pool, you can watch the 3-minute tutorial on the screen here. Very easy, quick. You don't even get rid of your keys. You keep it in your wallet. You're just delegating to our pool. But without any further ado, that's it for me.